2, 1, marker.
Sorry. I was marking.
I keep freaking spinning this damn chair.
I keep going this way.
It's like,
it's like a revolution.
I know.
It's like a Nintendo revolution.
Freaking chair is like, look at that. It's like I'm trying to stand still and this damn chair just keeps spinning. Where's the lever? Now you're too tall, damn it.
You know, this is fine by me.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Stupid.
Awesome.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next podcast. This is Jamie, along with
MegaManDust.
And yes, we haven't been on in a while. We've been quite busy. I know there's been news to report, but life goes on. Life calls us, work, family, whatever. So we don't have time to do podcasts all the time. But this week there was such an important news that we decided to put everything aside, shove the kids to the curb. Love you guys.
That's right, and bring you this news 3 days late. Or on time.
On time, yeah, I know, right? Okay, so earlier this week, Nintendo announced a partnership with Japanese smart, app,
mobile game
mobile game publisher DeNA. Now, this to me it came as a big shock because I never thought that Nintendo would actually, especially because part of the deal that they did with DeNA is that they're gonna have DeNA publish all their IPs are on the table in this deal. We're talking about Mario, Zelda, Metroid, F-Zero, Star Fox. Every single IP from Nintendo is going to be available for DeNA to actually
That's not
publish.
True. What they said is, yes, they're all on the table, as in they're all options to consider. Nintendo's still the holder to the rights, and so it's not going to be like, okay.
Well,
It's the thought is they're going to try a few more obscure titles first, I'm sure. Maybe start with the Pokemon just to get the hook in there. They're going to see how it does. Of course, Nintendo and DeNA does pretty well. It's going to do well. And then from there, they're going to say, okay, we'll release you a Zelda to do something with. We'll release you a Star Fox to do something with. But that's meaning that they're on the table. It's not like DeNA is like, oh, we want to do Kid Icarus. We want to do Donkey Kong. They're going to have, it's going to have to wait. They're just going to say, let's see how this thing kind of goes. And kind of from there, they're not just like having free reign to make whatever they want.
Well, no, of course not. But I mean, of course, knowing Nintendo how protected they are their IPs, they're gonna have some clause that says, okay,
No
we will
quality.
decide, we will have the last word on what gets published and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But the fact that all the IPs are on the table to be considered, that's a huge step for Nintendo to allow somebody else.
Yeah.
To have the possibility of publishing, their big titles on a non-Nintendo device.
True. But we've known this was kind of coming for close to a year, though. I was surprised because we hadn't heard anything about this for a while, and I was like, okay, maybe they stopped. But if you recall, Nintendo was talking, and I forget when, was it a few Nintendo Directs ago? Or was it closer to E3, but how they're going to start looking into some mobile games and how they cannot put like full console experiences on them, but basically promote their 3DS, promote their Nintendo Wii U games. I think they didn't specify anything, but I'm thinking like a Pokemon style like Candy Crush game. They didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, hey, this is Pokemon, this is awesome. You want something more of this? Check out our 3DS version, or check out something on the Nintendo Wii U. That's, unless their stance on that has changed, that's at least how this initial wave of mobile games are going to be. It's going to be a marketing tool for Nintendo to look and push people towards their hardware. Because that's still, I think, that's still where their heart is in the hardware.
Well, yeah, of course.
If they're going to make a lot of money, they might change once they see that money. Like, hey, let's focus more on this.
And that's a problem though, because there is a slippery slope that Nintendo can fall into if they're not careful. Because mobile gaming brings a lot of money, yes, but is low, cheap quality money, and that can make or break a company.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Nintendo needs to be very careful how they approach this because they definitely don't want. I mean, I haven't read the entire article because the whole presentation was over an hour, and I'm sure it will take as long, if not longer, to actually read the entire transcript. But they need to be careful what kind of games and how they publish the games, because you definitely don't want to see straight ports of games
Yeah.
to mobile devices, because in my opinion having a straight port will kill the 3DS.
Yeah, and that's
know.
again the thing. That's one thing is Nintendo said very clearly that these are not going to be ports of existing games in their library. It's not going to be the virtual console on a handheld, as we know. I've seen other people talk about this. It's Nintendo's tight controls, right? So it can be very clunky to transition that to something that's strictly touchscreen, especially if you have all the buttons, small screen. At least with my hands, it's very difficult to do. But Nintendo said when they go into looking down this avenue, these are going to be again old IPs, but brand new, fresh experiences, new games. They're not going to be porting anything. You're not going to see, the latest Fire Emblem on there. You're probably not going to see Donkey Kong Country 2 on there. They want new games to kind of fill out this new medium that they're kind of delving into.
Yeah, but in you see, like you mentioned, the controls will be clunky if they were to do straight ports. I mean, let's face it though, a hardcore fan, I hate. Well, by the way, I hate using that stupid term, but anyway, a hardcore fan understands how the big difference between trying to control, Mario on an actual controller, buttons and stick, versus doing it on virtually on the screen, But most of the population that has a mobile device, we're talking about billions of people who are not hardcore fans, and yet they still love to play, like you say, Candy Crush Saga, or Farmville, or what's it called, even Minecraft on mobile device. And Minecraft on mobile device sucks. The controls are awful, and yet it still sells like freaking hotcakes. Why? Because it's a popular game, and because people who play on mobile devices, that's all they know, so they're accustomed to those kind of clunky devices. So that's why Nintendo needs to be very careful how they approach this, because it can be done doing another 3DS, because for all those billions of people who are not hardcore gamers, well, no, maybe not billions, but all those millions of people who are not hardcore gamers, that all their gaming experience has been a mobile device, they see Mario on the phone, for them it's gonna be a dream come true. And for them, it's gonna be like, oh look, I don't have to buy a $200 handheld. I have it on my phone, and I don't have to pay $40 for it when I can only pay $5 for a pseudo crappy Mario experience, because it's gonna be a very washed down Mario experience. It's not gonna be.
Well, I will say I haven't seen anything with Nintendo behind it. I think these are probably going to be some pretty good apps.
Well, yeah, they will be pretty good apps, but the point is that if they're not careful how they do it, they might actually draw people away, new customers away
from the handheld.
From the handheld, because here what they're trying to do is to expand, they literally bring Mario to the masses. I mean, Mario's already the most, not just Mario, but all their IPs. Mario's already the most recognizable icon in the world, even surpasses Mickey Mouse. And what they're trying to do is, console gaming and handheld gaming is only a small niche in the vast world of gaming. So they're trying to really show most gamers, and expand the Mario to all the masses. Well, the problem is that, like I say, if they don't do it carefully, these masses that are accustomed to just simple gaming experiences, for them this will be, like I said, a dream come true, because they now, from their point of view, it's like, oh look, I have Mario on my phone. I don't need to buy the console. I don't need to buy the handheld, and it's gonna backfire on Nintendo, their original idea.
I see some of that depending on the quality. Again, the quality. Not the quality. It's gonna be high quality, I'm sure, but the type of games they release for mobile. Obviously, there are different stripes, different colors, different variations of games on mobile. Some are longer, some are shooters. But the more popular ones, again, I don't play them, so I don't really know. But again, it's the Flappy Bird style. It's the Candy Crush, like Farmville and stuff. The quick, you jump into it. It's really easy. You put it down, you forget about it. If those are the type of experiences that they bring to the Nintendo platform, it's going to be product recognition. It's going to be awesome for them. And I'm going to argue that those are not the same people who are maybe going to go out and buy traditional handheld consoles. Because even on those, like, I love my new XL I just got. It's awesome, right? I could play a Bravely Default in there, and I could be 30 hours in. you're not typically 30 hours in, like story-wise or whatever, in a game on a mobile device. You may play it for 30 hours, but it's the same repetitive thing, or you're waiting from day to day. It's a very different experience from a phone to what's been on a traditional handheld. And I don't think the markets necessarily intersect. And like that, hopefully, like Nintendo said, they're using it as a promotion, as like, hey, you can play this, it's an awesome game. If you're interested in our IPs and what we have to offer, check out our handhelds and kind of drive people towards there. And I really see that kind of being the focus, because I don't see like, I could see maybe like a running game Mario where you tap 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 make him jump.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of about it. That's what I really see them doing. There's not going to be like a Mario 64 on there or something
No.
in that vein. It's going to
No.
push people to say, hey, you know what, this is awesome. Let me go check out this Wii U or whatever's next for Nintendo, you know?
Yeah, well,
That's going to be out this year.
Yeah, surely, let's hope so that's the way people think about it, because, people. I mean, I know it's a different approach, but popular games that have been on mobile, when they are translated to a handheld, it doesn't drive the customers that they thought it would drive. Like Angry Birds. It did awesome on mobile. When it was brought to console and handheld, the first thought of consumers was like, why am I gonna pay $20-$30 for this game when I just buy it for $2 on my phone? You know, and see, and again, hardcore gamers tell the difference between a mobile experience and a handheld console experience, because we as hardcore gamers, we went from console to mobile. Mobile gamers, they do not translate the same way.
Oh, no.
Mobile gamers, they doesn't matter if you present them, if it doesn't matter if you give them a demo on like again like Angry Birds, you give them Angry Birds on their phone, and then you try to entice them to buy like an expanded version or something better of Angry Birds in console, and yet it doesn't drive them to do that. I mean, Angry Birds, I know is a bad example. It's a backwards philosophy.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about Nintendo games going to mobile. We're talking about mobile games going to console games. But the point is that mobile gamers are not. They don't see. They see the world from the gaming world from a different perspective that we do, and that's what really Nintendo needs to be very careful about.
And I think they're very well aware of that, because I don't have the correct language to say this. I'm gonna say it how I know to say it. Don't offend anybody. Typically, you look at in the gaming world, the mobile gamer isn't looked at as your hardcore gamer, right? Even though they may very well be, but not looked as like that. It's more a casual, general market. Everyone has a phone, so everyone's going to do something with it, right? That's the market that Nintendo had when they had the Wii. The waggle, 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 let's play Wii Sports. Everybody loved that. That's the market that's now on their phones. That's what Nintendo wants to recapture. And they can do it. They had it before. They can get that back. But again, those same people didn't go over to the Wii U. That's why people are like, oh man, it's a bummer. It's a terrible system, because that user base did not transfer over. The loyal people did. You and I, we have a Wii U. It's awesome. But people who bought one for their grandma, or like for little Nicky down the street, they don't care. It was an awesome experience. It's too much to keep up with it. But they can do that on their phone.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome for them, and it's just more money for Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's just, again, expanding that market. They're not losing anything.
Yeah. Well, no, it's expanding the market, in like the company, down the long road, if they even decide, they can survive. They'll thrive on IPs, because just in IPs alone, and licensing their IPs to other hardware. And Nintendo's not going away. Even if this deal becomes at least my personal worst nightmare, and drives Nintendo to move away from the hardware market.
Worst case scenario,
even if that happens, from the gaming world experience, it will be a terrible loss. From the Nintendo experience, it will not be, because they're still gonna be thriving on all their IPs, and making games and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just it's a very dangerous situation that they're putting themselves. They're taking a big gamble. They're taking a big gamble. Hopefully it'll pay off, but hopefully it won't drive them the way of Sega with the Dreamcast.
I certainly hope not. Yeah, that's my worst fear as well. That and I don't think it's well founded in reason. It's just a thought of Nintendo venturing into mobile. It's like, oh no, it's kind of scary. It's something new. And I see mobile, I was like, yeah, mobile, right?
Exactly. And
But
it will never, as you mentioned, it will never match the quality of gaming that we can with the real buttons, with real control, with the real handheld buttons and joystick, and even the 3DS and the DS family. Even though they had a touchscreen, they still had the analog input, and it was the best of both worlds. And I think Nintendo, or at least whomever decided, you know, um, what's it called, Iwata, or whoever decided to start venturing into the mobile market. I mean, I'm sure they have thought about it, has slipped over it, talked to the pillow about it, but let's hope that is their best decision.
ooh, I see their first game, a variation of Link's crossbow training. It's going to be their link to the mobile market.
The link to the mobile device, yes, the link to the mobile world. Well, we'll see what happens. As you mentioned, the first games, mobile apps or games, are supposed to roll out sometime later this year.
I'm kind of excited, tentatively.
Tentatively excited. I mean, as a big Nintendo fan, I can't wait to see what they come out. Apps, I'm really excited for. Games, I'm really wary of because of the worst case scenario that can derive from this. But anyway, we'll see. Roll into a different topic. The other big announcement that they had, the NX.
Oh yes,
that's
Nintendo Next.
their next. Exactly. You gotta love Nintendo with their with the wordplay. Their next console or device. Then they dropped the hint right there, and we will know more about it next year, possibly on E3.
Yeah, they didn't really say anything except that there's this other piece of hardware, a dedicated gaming hardware codenamed NX. Other than that, we really are just left up to speculation as to what it is. I mean, I've scoured the internet to my best of my meager abilities to find out something else, and it's like, no, we
Well,
couldn't.
yeah, but just like just like everybody else, we can just speculate. And some of the best speculations or conjectures that I saw out there, Nintendo, when it comes to code names, they love to play words. They use the code name based on what the new hardware is or can do.
Yeah.
We have, for instance, the N64. Its code name was Project Reality. Because it was the very first console with 3D environments and 3D graphics. We have the Revolution. And well, that was actually the first name. It wasn't really the Revolution. It was the Project Cafe, and because he had the latte processor and whatever other sweet little name he had for the processor. But then again, the original name for it was the Revolution, because he was supposed to revolutionize the gaming industry, which it did.
Yeah.
With motion controls. I mean, motion controls, whether we like it or not, are integral part of gaming now, because all mobiles and mobile devices and the 3DS use motion controls, and so they're here to stay in one way or another. And then what do we have? The GameCube was Project Dolphin, but I don't really see the connection there with the name, but I think it was because of the processors, because they were all animals like gecko and stuff like that. But so anyway, going back to the NX, one of the there's two major candidates as to why the name. One, the most obvious one, the abbreviation in English, NX, next, like being the next console coming out,
Too
or next
easy.
device, which is too easy. Or one that I really like, that I have heard about speculation and or rumors from insiders. The X, like railroad crossing is represented by an X.
Mm-hmm.
So the NX represents a crossing, of having a console that is both home console and portal device. Like 3DS.
And I'm going to say right now, I don't like that.
You don't?
People want that. People really do
yeah.
for some reason. I don't like. For example, the Wii U gamepad.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to carry that around with me. Like that's my portable. That's my handheld, because it's tied to my system. If I lose that, forget about the price. Say it's cheap as heck. Say it's $50, like a regular controller, right?
Yeah.
If I lose that, the way Nintendo is with like you have to have your gamepad, how am I going to get to my system? It's hard enough as it is to buy an extra gamepad.
Well, if you really think about it, it's no different than right now if you were to lose your 3DS.
Well, yeah,
So I
but
mean, the inherent danger is there because if the gamepad breaks and that's it, I'm screwed because I need to try to send it for repair
but I'm out of one device. In this case, I'd be out of two devices. I'd be out of my home console. I'd be out of my handheld console.
That's the thing though. If they do a mix or a cross of both devices into one, we're talking about a gaming experience like the Vita with the PS3 or PS4. You know that you can stream the game and be able to play this beautiful high definition graphics on your mobile device on your mobile console on your handheld console, but this time instead of just being limited by being in the same room because it's streaming, actually be able to take it on the go.
Yeah.
So it will be in that. I mean, if this were to be the case, we would not have to buy. I mean, one game will suffice for both devices.
See, that doesn't make sense to me. Like from a money standpoint,
True.
why would you cannibalize sales? I'm going to give you two copies of the game for I could usually have charged you $80 for, and now I'm going to charge you 40.
True.
It doesn't make to me from a business standpoint, unless you are selling that many more, and Nintendo's doing hard to sell. Unless it's a 3DS or
No, 3DS is struggling.
unless it's a handheld, it's kind of hard pressed to sell something.
Yeah, and going back to how Nintendo's thriving on the console business, that's why it shocked me that they are deciding to move on to the mobile business because I don't mean to beat on the dead horse, but it's such a slippery slope. That they have there's a big danger that they can kill their own handheld device with this venture that it's like crazy. But anyway,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I want to say what was interesting to me, because I told you about this chart. If you look up, Nintendo NX, you'll see it. As they're talking about this platform, and they're talking about NX being a dedicated piece of gaming hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has, like, on the right side of the display, you see Nintendo 3DS, you see Wii U, you see NX. Across from that, you have tablet, you have smartphone, and you have PC, right? Three, and there's kind of like, here's like the three towers of what these things are. Your smartphone doesn't replace your tablet, doesn't replace your PC, etc. Which leads me to believe, based on really nothing, but just, a little bit of speculation, this NX is not going to replace our Wii U. It is not going to replace our 3DS, but in some way augment it. I was talking to you before. This is, again, just me now wishful thinking, like, okay, maybe it's some type of virtual reality thing or some other device that's going to interact with our current systems.
Mm-hmm.
To see maybe they're going to try and bring some more life out of the current Nintendo consoles or increase that experience somewhere. Because the crossover experience is interesting, but I think except for like the wireless, I mean, when I play using my 3DS as a controller for my for Smash Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the same experience to me as using the gamepad, but then it's my portable 3DS, and if it would just sync information back and forth, that's awesome. I could take my Mii's with me; they're already stored on there. Go to my friend's house, and that's pretty awesome. And that's what people are saying like Nintendo crossover might be. But the Wii U and then the 3DS are kind of already doing that.
Yeah, they are. So who knows what it is? I mean, it's interesting to see the graphic that they show and the presentation, and they're showing, as you mentioned before, they have the graphics showing the 3DS, the Wii U, a tablet, a smartphone, and a PC, and then with the caption, jointly develop and operate a new membership service that encompasses smart devices and dedicated video game systems.
Yeah.
And then they have like you mentioned, they have the 3DS, Wii U, and then it says dedicated game system NX. So I mean, this is such a mystery, this NX, because they're making it sound like it might be the next thing, but yet at the same time they're making it sound like it's just a third pillar in their current.
Yeah, which is intriguing. And you rushed out as you read that. It's kind of funny. A new subscription service. Is NX some type of subscription thing? Is it streaming? Is it replacement to Nintendo Power Program or whatever?
No, they're Club Nintendo. Yes.
Yeah, Club Nintendo. What is this?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to be a new Club Nintendo World because I mean we're talking about a year in front of us. I mean, well, it may be. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, you're right. seeing the new subscription. I didn't really think about it until right now, reading it out loud. New membership service. So we might even looking at it. Well, the NX a dedicated game system, but then there is going to be a new service.
Yeah.
So a new membership service. So who knows? Maybe they are going to be going the way of Live Gold and
Yes. I say yes.
PN Plus.
If they can maintain a consistent quality across the service, where it's reliable, it's stable, I can talk to my friends, it's all the good stuff we want, I will pay. But if I have a PS4 and I have an Xbox and I have this, I don't want to be paying $180 a year, more, maybe less, hopefully less, to play online for these games. That's going to be interesting if we're all, hardcore gamers. You have all three systems and a computer and blah blah blah. That's a lot of money just to be able to play online.
Yeah, because I mean, let's be honest. As much as I hate, this like Sony, this generation, I was getting ready to go for the PS4 because, I just can't. I'm so against paying for a service that is already there. Online gaming, which is already programmed in the game, is being held hostage by that charge to be able to use the service. I'm already paying $60 to have a game that plays online and that plays standalone, at home.
Come over to PC, man. The water's great.
Exactly, and then I had to pay more money to be able to use part of that game that I'm already paying for. I mean, to me is being held hostage. In this generation, I was getting ready to buy a PS4 because PS3 was also free, like the Wii was, in the last generation. Until Sony announced that they were canceling. I mean, they were getting rid of the free service and they were going only for the paid service. I was like, "Are you flipping kidding me?" And I was like, "If I'm gonna be paying service, I'm just gonna go back to the Xbox and just stay with that. Stay with what I know. I don't like Sony to begin with anyway." But I mean, the point is, that alone swayed me from buying a PS4 this generation.
That's probably the biggest for people who are so interested in buying a Nintendo, other than it plays Mario. Might be one of the biggest factors for buying it. It's like, I don't have to pay for online.
And that's not the thing.
What online there is.
If I mean, as a Nintendo fan, I'm probably gonna be sucked into it anyway. But it's gonna really truly suck having to pay to be able to play online.
But what if you could subsidize your online payment with your Play coins?
Now that would be interesting then.
Get out there and start walking.
I know exactly. It's like go like with 3DS, just start shaking it around to get those coins. But anyway, I think we're already ran kind of lengthy on this podcast. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. What do you think is the new NX system? Is it a new handheld, a new Wii U, a combination of both?
A headset.
Neither one of those, yeah.
Virtual Boy 2.
Yeah, exactly. Virtual Boy 2. And what about this endeavor between DeNA and Nintendo? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Would it be the end of the 3DS of handheld gaming, or would it be
a Nintendo phone?
A Nintendo phone, yeah. Or would it
only $1.95? You could help poor, impoverished video game characters who once lived in the limelight come back to stardom through Nintendo's DeNA program. Help old characters you grew up with become one with the family once again for only $1.95. Please subscribe.
Oh my god. Dude, you get my child greasy when you greasy ass French fry fingers in.
I'm sorry, I'll clean it off.
Oh gosh, that's so gross. It smells like French fry. Okay. Okay, so we
are the champions.
My friends. Okay. Just like serious. Yeah, I can't be serious anymore. Yeah, I didn't realize the video. I'm just gonna continue like this. I just didn't realize the video cut off on us. So anyway, we're talking about the NX, blah blah blah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Whatever you caught from it, whatever got recorded.
I liked it,
and
I watched it once.
Yeah. In the meantime, this is Jamie along with
MegaManDust.
Asking you to please hit that share, like, and subscribe buttons, and put your comments below what you think about the new NX, whether it's a single console or and the next, the next console, the next handheld, or a combination of both, or as he was pointing out rather eloquently, Virtual Boy 2.0.
Oh yeah, bring back that all red display.
Or
this time.
yeah. And what do you guys think about Nintendo's venture with DeNA? Is it gonna, is it gonna bring down Nintendo's dominance in the handheld market, or is it actually gonna be expanding Nintendo's reach to the casual masses, mobile masses? Let us know in the comments below what you think. In the meantime, we are signing off.
Peace. Gang signs. Dude, we're not staying.